This is advanced forms training. It's the second of a series of 3 videos on forms. I'm Mike Pagton. I'm a Crete Mooney High School teacher. I'm also part of the Google integration team for our district. One of the first things I want to cover in this video is themes. We did not cover it in the basics, though it's not truly an advanced topic, but it is something that a lot of people miss the first time they use a form. Changing a theme is a way of customizing the look to the respondents, to the people that are submitting answers to your form. It's easy to do. If you click the Change Theme button in the toolbar, you'll notice a pop-up on the right. You'll also notice your questions kind of go away, and instead you sort of see what the respondents would see, or something similar to what they would see. When you choose a theme from the right-hand side, it'll change. When you find one that you like, all you need to do is go back to the Edit Question button and press that, and your theme's automatically saved. You can also copy a theme if you have used a form or someone has shared with you a form and you have it saved on your drive or somewhere else. You can select it by clicking on Choose Form, and that'll automatically copy their theme to yours. Or if you've created your own form and you want to reuse the theme, this is how you would reuse that theme. Customizing the themes, there are several things that you can do to customize once you've selected a default or a copy. You can change like headers and backgrounds. You can insert an image. You can change font sizes and paragraphs and things like that. So select each one and sort of play around with that until you're happy with the way it looks. And remember, each time that you make a change to the theme, you're seeing exactly what that change is on the screen in the center as you mess with the options on the right. So that's kind of a very helpful thing. The next advanced trick is really probably easier sort of to find. It's under advanced settings on each individual question that you're working on. It's called data validation. Not every question will have data validation, and some of these settings will be different based on the type of question it is. So just understand that. But text types of responses typically have data validation options, and we'll cover a couple other things that show up in the advanced settings as well. One of the examples of using a data validation is to get students to answer longer or perhaps less if you wanted to. Here is an example that you can sort of see what the question is up here at the top. What do you want me to cover? What do you want me to walk away with? What do you want to walk away with today? This is actually a question from that survey that you may have done at the beginning of the first video on forms for me. Anyway, notice that if the respondent chooses and types in less than 20 characters, they're going to get prompted, please add a little more detail. They're not going to be able to submit that question and move on. So that's really kind of a unique thing, helpful for a lot of reasons. Obviously, you could apply it to a variety of things in the educational world. So that's one validation trick. Here's another validation trick that I really like, and that's password protecting a form. If you make the first question of your form, for example, enter the password, and here's the example that this person used. Now, this is not mine. In no way do I want to get credited for this, but data validation is selected. It's a text-based question, and notice if the expression matches. So they're going to get this in the example where it does not perfectly match. So they need to enter meow for their answer. Otherwise, it's going to say that's not right, try again. And let's just see what this looks like in the form. So here's the form again. I'm not taking credit for this. I did not make this. Enter a password and try to enter it. And notice we get that that's not right. Try again. So that's a powerful data validation tool. You can see that it continues on and it does work when in fact you type in the response that you're looking for. So that's another use of data validation. In that advanced settings area for multiple choice style questions, there won't be a data validation, but there is the ability to shuffle options. So that's useful if you're making like a quiz or a test or something where you might want those options shuffled. In a grid style question, you could really easily make a ranking or an ordering question by selecting limit 1 to 1 response per column, and custom error might be you've selected 2 of the same answers, something along those lines, and that way the person taking the test can only select one of the column selections for each of the rows. That would be a way to make an ordering or a ranking question. I wish I had an example of this to show you right now to further explain that, but especially you history, social studies teachers, or if you're an English teacher and you deal with sequencing in a novel, you could see the power of making like an ordering or ranking type of question using a grid style. Branch logic is another very helpful tool. Branch logic basically allows you to maneuver around your form based on the responses that the responder is giving you. So for example, we're going to go back to our kitty cat smackdown form here in just a second. But the next question in that survey was choose which you would rather see. And the help text just says pick one. So it's a multiple choice style question. Once they've typed in the multiple choices, then in forms you get this option on the right to do some branch logic things. So kitten versus lizard, if that's selected, go to page 3, kitten versus lizard. So guilty cat, if guilty cat is selected, you could imagine the drop-down menu would probably say go to page 2, guilty cat. And so that basically in a nutshell allows us to navigate to different places in a form based upon an answer. And so let's look at that. I got to enter our password again. Remember that was data validation that we did. And now here is branch logic. So if I click kitty versus lizard and we want to see that, it brings us to a page where there's the kitty versus lizard YouTube video, and we can watch that if we so choose. Now let's go back and let's enter the other option. So you could see what happens if we pick guilty cat instead. If we pick guilty cat instead, we press continue, and it gets us to a video of the guilty cat. I'm sure he's doing something he's not supposed to be doing. So that is branch logic, and you can see its uses as well. And let's go back to our slides. All right. Another advanced trick is using a pre-filled out URL. So suppose in this example, you're going to give this feedback form out and you want your responders to have already selected the fact that this is Google Forms Jedi training. So you could click on your responses menu at the top. From there, click on pre-filled URLs, and then it'll take you to your form. You can answer the questions that you want to be pre-filled. Then when you click submit, you'll get a URL link that you could send out that has those forms already pre-filled. So very powerful tool, again, if you want to save your responders some time. They still obviously have the option to change it on you, so they could change it on you, but pre-filled out URLs are kind of a neat little Google throw in there that they gave us to use. So take some time. The best way to learn Google Forms, in all honesty, is to just do it on your own. If you'd like to create a form and submit it so that I could see it, that would be wonderful. If not, no big deal. But thank you for watching the video. I hope this helped. If you have questions, email me anytime. And of course, thank you again to Ms. Felis, who created most of those slides and was responsible for much of what you saw in that slideshow.